So today is definitely an interesting video, and yes, I just showered, so don't mind that, please. But I was driving home from work on Friday and noticed I couldn't accelerate anymore while I was driving, so I pulled off into a fire station because that was the closest place I could go. And then, I called my dad and I was like, hey, I can't drive my car home, can you come and pick me up and we'll tow it or whatever. And then so some of the firefighters came out to try and help me and figure out what was happening, because initially I thought it was the brakes, but then that didn't make any sense because I could still brake, I just couldn't accelerate. So I was checking all my fluids, make sure I had oil, everything. And then one of the guys, he looked under my car, he said, oh, one of your transmission hoses is off. I was like, oh, okay, can we just put it back on? He's like, oh, it won't go back on, let me take this part off and then reattach it to the hose and then screw it back on. Let me tell you what not to do, actually. So because he did that, I had to replace the whole oil radiator, or I think that's what it's called. Sometimes I get the names mixed up. I had to spend $100 to replace this, and so you can see this is what it's supposed to look like. That's what the tube goes into to filter in for the engine and everything. You see how this is welded in here? He freaking pried it out with a screwdriver. And for the life of me, I cannot find it, but this is what he pried out, because I remember I took a picture of it when I went to the auto parts store. That's what he pried out of the oil cooler. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot about my transmission and how it's supposed to go, but if you can't take something out, don't keep trying. But anyways, had to tow strap my car to my house, and then we fixed it all yesterday. But I had to spend over $150 to replace the oil cooler, the transmission fluid, and just, putting it in. But putting it in myself saved me a lot more money than if I hired someone else to do it. Which, thank goodness we were able to do it, because I'm gonna be honest, I actually didn't help as much as I wanted to whenever we replaced it, because I don't know, I just kept getting so anxious. I was like, my dad is unplugging so many things, where do all these tubes go, where do they connect? And I just kept freaking out, and which does not help. But we got it all done. We fixed it all. It was, for me, it was really scary, because I didn't know my transmission was slipping while I was driving, but that was what I was trying to tell him whenever he picked me up. But I didn't know that was the transmission slipping, so it was really hard for me to explain it to him. But yep, that was inexpensive but much needed fix for something really stupid. But so basically what happened is the hose clamp broke off and the hose came off, and I lost all my transmission fluid, my coolant and everything. So I just had to replace this whole thing that's behind the fans right here, and then I showed pictures of. Look at my cat under my car with me. She really just wants attention. But yep. Sometimes free help is not the best help.